really understand sometimes what a terrible burden it is to know some of the things that I know. And try to wake people up and impart this knowledge to them. And find out that they just have walls built in front of them. They want to be slaves.
Now I risk sounding like a conspiracy theorist, but it's no longer a theory. What I'm about to say is fact. The secret organizations of the world power elite are no longer secret. They have planned and are now leading us into a one-world communist government.
Take a journey with me deep inside the rabbit hole. Wake up, my friends, there's some things that you have to know. Everything you ever thought you knew, it has to go. For instance, NASA is the world's largest magic show. 9/11 was a planned demolition and Sandy Hook was a scam. Come on, man, are you tripping? Constant programming being crammed in your vision. Just take a step back and examine this prison. Turn on the news and they're trying to blind you. All they ever do is tell you lies and divide you. There's nowhere you can even hide, they'll find you. Illuminati all-seeing eye right behind you. It's about time you find out we're being lied to. They're attempting to control the mind that's inside you. Hide you from the power that designed you. Does anybody have a problem with this? Well, I do. I want the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. They say they got it, but they're never coming up with proof. If you're looking, then they got you jumping through these hoops. The lies always continuing to rise and busting through the roof. I want the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. They say they got it, but they're never coming up with proof. If you're looking, then they got you jumping through these hoops. The lies always continuing to rise and busting through the roof. They're lying to us about everything. How can this be? I know I'm not crazy, and yet I'm questioning my sanity. I see what the Illuminati's doing to humanity. The truth is stranger than fiction. We're living in a fantasy. What I'm witnessing is unreal. It's a one-way battle for us cattle going uphill. If we don't stand and fight now, then no one will. Our children will never know freedom, it's a done deal. The future's not looking so promising. It's the poor who go to war while the rich keep on profiting. It's us that they're slaughtering and money that they're honoring. And soon it's gonna be the New World Order that they're offering. It's mind-boggling how so many don't seem aware. And if they are, it's like they really just don't even care. Our world is broken and I'm hoping it can be repaired. But we'll have to fight for it, so just be prepared. I want the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. They say they got it, but they're never coming up with proof. If you're looking, then they got you jumping through these hoops. The lies always continuing to rise and busting through the roof. I want the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. They say they got it, but they're never coming up with proof. If you're looking, then they got you jumping through these hoops. The lies always continuing to rise and busting through the roof.
Forget the politicians. Politicians are put there to give you the idea that you have freedom of choice. You don't. You have no choice. You have owners. And they own all the big media companies, so they control just about all of the news and information you get to hear. They got you by the balls. They don't want a population of citizens capable of critical thinking.
You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
Ladies and gentlemen, the very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society, and we are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret societies, to secret oaths, and to secret proceedings. We decided long ago that the dangers of excessive and unwarranted concealment of pertinent facts far outweighed the dangers which are cited to justify it. Even today, there is little value in opposing the threat of a closed society by imitating its arbitrary restrictions. Even today, there is little value in ensuring the survival of our nation if our traditions do not survive with it. And there is very grave danger that an announced need for increased security will be seized upon by those anxious to expand its meaning to the very limits of official censorship and concealment. That I do not intend to permit to the extent that it's in my control. And no official of my administration, whether his rank is high or low, civilian or military, should interpret my words here tonight as an excuse to censor the news, to stifle dissent, to cover up our mistakes, or to withhold from the press and the public the facts they deserve to know. For we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies primarily on covert means for expanding its sphere of influence, on infiltration instead of invasion, on subversion instead of elections, on intimidation instead of free choice, on guerrillas by night instead of armies by day. It is a system which has conscripted vast human and material resources into the building of a tightly knit, highly efficient machine that combines military, diplomatic, intelligence, economic, scientific, and political operations. Its preparations are concealed, not published. Its mistakes are buried, not headlined. Its dissenters are silenced, not praised. No expenditure is questioned, no rumor is printed, no secret is revealed. No president should fear public scrutiny of his program, for from that scrutiny comes understanding, and from that understanding comes support or opposition, and both are necessary. I am not asking your newspapers to support an administration, but I am asking your help in the tremendous task of informing and alerting the American people. For I have complete confidence in the response and dedication of our citizens whenever they are fully informed. I not only could not stifle controversy among your readers, I welcome it. This administration intends to be candid about its errors. For as a wise man once said, an error doesn't become a mistake until you refuse to correct it.
Nothing less than a new world order. This is the pledge of the world's most powerful leaders, representing 90% of the global economy. Thursday's G20 summit, they say, has changed the rules of the game.
Today, the largest countries of the world have agreed a global plan for recovery and reform. This involves the biggest interest rate cuts in history, the biggest fiscal stimulus we have ever seen, the biggest increase in resources in the history of our international institutions.
A total of $5 trillion for the global economy by the end of next year, including $1 trillion for the International Monetary Fund. staggering figures that the 20 countries, along with international institutions, agreed upon to combat the crisis. The G20 has laid out other measures, too, to firm up a financial system many say enabled the worst excesses of the past. These include an end to tax havens, stronger regulation of companies and banks, and new rules to rein in corporate bonuses.
We will implement new rules on pay and bonuses at a global level that reflect actual performance, with no more rewards for failure.
The G20 leaders arrived in London divided, with France and Germany holding out for tougher controls on tax havens notably. But the results have won praise from all sides.
This is more than we could have hoped for. We are all aware that alone we can do nothing. We are all aware that we need to create new rules to build a new foundation of the system. This is what we have done.
The very institutions at the epicenter of the crisis have also made their approval known. Stock markets shot up in response to the deal, signaling, for now at any rate, a return of confidence.
This is an historic moment. We have in this past year made great progress in ending the long era of conflict and Cold War. We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order, a world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders. Now we can see a new world coming into view, a world in which there is the very real prospect of a new world order. In the words of Winston Churchill, a world order in which the principles of justice and fair play protect the weak against the strong. A world where the United Nations, freed from Cold War stalemate, is poised to fulfill the historic vision of its founders. A world in which freedom and respect for human rights find a home among all nations.
Ancient wisdom for a new world.
Hey everybody, what's going on? Hope all is well. This is ODD, and I want to put a spotlight on Colorado because I live in Colorado, and some of my observations lead me to believe that it may very well be the New World Order headquarters. Now, this is all speculation, of course, but I feel that it's justified. So let's get started. Right off the bat on the state seal, we see the all-seeing eye at the top. We know what that means. We don't have to say too much about that, but let me point out something very interesting. On the bottom of the seal, we see that Colorado was established in 1876. That's exactly 100 years from the time that Adam Weishaupt founded the Order of the Illuminati in 1776. Now here's the kicker. 1776 is also the year that the design for the Great Seal of the United States with the all-seeing eye on it was submitted by a man named Pierre-Eugène du Cimetière. So basically, the Order of the Illuminati and the Great Seal were both created in 1776, both which use the all-seeing eye, and 100 years later, Colorado was established also using the eye on its official seal, and to this day, it's the only state to do so. Underneath the eye is a bundle of sticks with an axe sticking out. This is known as the fascio, and it basically means totalitarianism or authoritarianism. Fascio equals fascism.
Also on the fascia
is what appears to be XIX, which in the official explanation just says they are ribbons. So lots of interpretations can be made there. One that I consider is double X or double cross Saturn symbolism, because the seal of Saturn is 2 X's. And what's crazy is that it easily converts into the Freemasonic square and compass, and even what's known as the Star of David, but also has many other names, such as the Star of Remphan, as I like to call it. But this makes sense when you understand that the elite do in fact worship Saturn, which is the god of 1,000 names. Another interesting aspect is the heavy use of blue and red on the Colorado seal. A lot of researchers attribute the 2 colors to Saturn, but an easy way to look at it is the dualistic nature of our world and society. Red and blue is Republicans and Democrats. Coke and Pepsi, the illusion of choice. Anyway, the shield with mountains, a pickaxe, and a hammer. I'm not really sure what to make of it, but I'll take a stab at it. The pickaxe and the hammer could represent the designers and builders of Freemasonry known as the architects. The shield itself definitely symbolism of sorts, being that they are used for many logos including Warner Brothers and the NFL. But what really comes to mind is the Rothschild family, whose name translates to Red Shield. The Rothschilds are one of the most wealthiest families on Earth, and if you look at the top of the shield here, it's red. Not too certain, but just food for thought. Last but not least, towards the bottom of the seal is the Latin phrase, nil sine numine, which translates to nothing without the deity, and we all know which deity they are talking about, the god of this world, according to the Bible. Now we're going to move on to the Denver International Airport, DIA. This airport is the largest in America and one of the biggest in the world. Here's an aerial view of the land, and just this little part right here is the main building that travelers go through. Let's check it out on Google Earth to get a better perspective. So now we are right above the land, and I'll show you around a little. This is what I'm talking about. Just this right here is where you go to get in. This is the funky roof that we see in pictures. Surrounding the white building are parking garages, and then outdoor parking on both sides as well. It's just huge, and after you get in, go through security, you go down underground to get on a train, at which point you're taken to one of the 3 concourses, which are these buildings here. Down here is where you enter from Pena Boulevard, and this is also where you find the demonic-looking blue Mustang. The creator of the statue, Luis Jimenez, was killed when a section of it fell on him at his studio. So yeah, really big place with lots of land, and it's reported that the project went $2 billion over budget, making it easy to understand that there really is much more to this airport than the public gets to see. I fully believe that it's a deep underground military base, and it's also multi-purpose. It can serve as anything from a FEMA-type concentration camp to a fallout refuge for the financial elite ruling class. So now we will make our way inside, where we'll be greeted by spooky gargoyles in suitcases. What's up, spooky gargoyles in suitcases?
I want to eat your soul.
Oh snap, let's go look at the murals. So I'm sure most of you are familiar with this, as it's been a very popular conspiracy for years now. So I'll breeze through the rest of this segment. We have the 4 murals, and they go in this order: hardcore military oppression, police state; total destruction and the death of race and religion; coming together for a new world order; and finally living in peace and harmony under a one world government and one world religion. A large portion of DIA is called the Great Hall and is named after a room found in Freemason lodges. Within the Great Hall is a Freemasonic capstone with the time capsule underneath, not to be opened until 2094. Take note that towards the bottom it says, New World Airport Commission. The weird thing is that there is no record of this commission's existence. This whole place is a Freemasonic shrine, and there's even a statue of an astronaut, Jack Swigert, at Concourse B, constantly reinforcing the hoax that is space travel. Let's head over to America2050.org, and we could look at the future megaregions, or megacities. Just like Megacity 1 on Judge Dredd. There will be 11 megaregions, including one that will consist of Colorado Springs, Denver, Santa Fe, and Albuquerque. This will be accompanied by the Trans-American Passenger Network, which will connect all the megacities. Now, what I find interesting about this is that if you look at what's called the possible Yellowstone supervolcano eruption map, it almost seems to correlate with the future megacities. We could overlay this map over the other, and it's a perfect match. It doesn't seem like a coincidence, but I hope this doesn't happen, and I am speculating. So my point is that Colorado is still there, even though it seems off because it's really the only megaregion in the center of the map. Let's check out the Hunger Games map from the movie franchise. Now, do you see where the capital is? A lot of that is Colorado. Not all of it, but still. Also in the movie Hunger Games, the Resistance is headquartered in an old military facility built beneath a mountain and is capable of launching missiles. A nod to NORAD, which is the North American Aerospace Defense Command located in Colorado Springs inside of Cheyenne Mountain. NORAD is featured in movies like War Games from 1983, the Terminator franchise, and Interstellar, which used NORAD's mountain bunker as the headquarters for the new NASA.
Nassholes, I call them.
Also in Colorado, we have NIST, the National Institute of Standards and Technology. It's located in Boulder, and they are the people that put out the official story on 9/11, which we know is completely bogus. So right off the bat, we know there's something up here. Over the years, there's been a lot of speculation regarding this place, including that they work on hologram technology and voice of God technology, which is the technology that uses certain frequencies to direct voices straight into your head. Both technologies would be used in a Project Bluebeam scenario. On July 20th, 2012, just 4 or 5 months before the Sandy Hook hoax took place, we had the Dark Knight Aurora shootings with James Holmes. I don't know if anyone was injured or not, but it was completely staged, and it couldn't have been more obvious. The alleged shooter, James Holmes, was involved in mind-altering neuroscience research, like behavioral programming, basically. And that's exactly what appeared to happen to him. Some sort of MK Ultra Manchurian Candidate type stuff. They say he went on a killing spree inside the theater where Dark Knight was playing, dressed as the Joker. If you go back and listen to interviews, the stories were inconsistent and many people said there were 2 gunmen. And then James Holmes is in court the next day looking like a hypnotized zombie, triggered mind control slave. And the messed up thing is that guy could be an actor for all we know. But I lean towards him just being thrown under the bus. I don't know. But what's really telling is that Lil Wayne came out with a music video 3 days before the shooting called Still Homies, and the video took place in a movie theater with 12 skeletons scattered throughout the seats. And that's exactly how many people that were claimed to have been murdered in the Dark Knight Massacre.
See, the more you study about the rulers of this world, and, I was doing the other studies of other religions and things like that, this comes back to Christianity, is Jesus was taken up on a high mountain, led in the Spirit, was tempted by Satan, and asked, to bow down, and he said he would give Jesus the kingdoms of this world if he worshiped him. Now think about that. Nothing's changed. And why Christians struggle with this is, look, sorry, you may not like the answer, but the kingdoms of this world are been given to Satan, the secret societies, the shadow government, for an age, a time. Their time is running out. I don't like that. I don't have the answer. I don't have the master plan of the time frame. I'm just saying the rulers of this world right now, and the secret societies, are still under Satan's, rule right now. Because if they wasn't, then they would be Jesus Christ, and there would be no reason for temptation. Was Satan going to tempt him with something that wasn't his in the first place? And a lot of people have a problem with that. So that's the whole purpose of Christ returning to, I'm not going to get into that, but I'm just going to say I'll leave some scripture up at the top that will lead you to the temptation of Christ and those things. But you have to realize that, and a lot of people have a problem with waking up when they get to this part, is if you're still sitting out there thinking George Bush is a Christian, or such and such, Putin, it doesn't matter. To get to where you're at in the rulers in the political arena, you are a Luciferian, basically. You're not a Christian, because everything you do. That's why things don't make sense to people sitting in their den right now watching Fox News and CNN. You're like, how can these smart people make these such bad decisions? Well, it's not, believe me, it's not because they're stupid. It is because it's done on purpose, whatever it is. So you have to remember that. These are the builders who rejected the true cornerstone. This right here. Remember, go back to Mason and what they're building. They are Acts 4:11. I'll put it up in the top for you. They are the builders. That's what the scripture is talking about. Builders who rejected the true cornerstone. Illuminati, Freemasons, secret societies. They do not want to do it the Christ way. Come as a man, die as a man. That's the way we've been shown. He came to correct what Adam and Eve messed up. Period. That's it. There will come another time where man will reach out his hand again. And I'll get into it later in this video, and that's what is all over my website and channel, is transhumanism, those kind of things that the masses, the people out here, don't have a clue what I'm talking about. I was talking about this since 1998. I wasn't doing videos on it, but I was talking about it, posting, before I started doing videos. People thought I was crazy talking about transhumanism, downloading your mind, cloning, those kind of things. And still, to this day, I still get comments of, think I'm a kook. I'm like, okay, just look what's happening. Look at all the YouTubers now talking about transhumanism. Look at it. Go look at my videos. Look at the dates that I did stuff. The dates are way before most people were talking about it. Not that I was the only one. I'm just saying what God shared with me was, something I was not adept to or didn't have any study on it at all. I didn't even know what it was either. I was just being shown stuff. Now there's much more that's built into it. It has to do with the first, the second, and the third temple. That everybody's waiting for a third temple to be built overseas. They're waiting for some physical building for a man to walk in and say, I am God, and I declare I'm God, and bada bing, bada boom, and let me just destroy everybody. And it's an abomination that causes desolation in the temple of God. Now, for all purposes, they may pull that off. They may do that just for show, but that's not the truth of what's going on. God does not dwell in a physical building. He doesn't need a physical building. And neither does Satan, for that matter. He doesn't need land. He doesn't need gold. He doesn't need cars. He doesn't need any of that. It is very clear in the Bible. When I was studying, this is why I'm saying I had to go with Christianity and Jesus Christ, because nothing else makes sense in it of what's going on in the world today. And the actual scripture does. Just because it's not taught in your traditional church, that's why I'm telling you stuff right now that you probably won't never see in a church. That is knowledge directly from God. You can't find this in a textbook. You're not going to find it on a documentary. I'm sorry. So you either take the information or you don't. I mean, I'm just sharing it. But going back to the temple of God and what I've been shown. Remember I was telling you I was praying about the mark of the beast, the key of David, those kind of things. Don't want to fall. Don't want to lead anybody astray. So when Adam, and if you don't know scriptures, I'm just going to tell you this information. You have to do studying for yourself. This right here, when Adam was created, he had 44 chromosomes. He had 44. He did not have sex organs. There was no need for sex organs because Eve was not created yet. He had 44 chromosomes, and you're going to say, I hear people now, well, where does it say that in the Bible? I'm just telling you, okay? He created Adam with 44 chromosomes. There was no need for the sex organs. Then he put Adam to sleep, and he reached in, and he grabbed some DNA, or a rib. Ask a scientist what a rib is. A rib is called DNA. Even it's in the middle of the spelling of it. So after that, Eve was created from that rib or that DNA. Thus, the other two chromosomes were created, which made it a total of 46. You had the X and the Y, which determines the sex of a human being, or of the new temple. Adam was the first temple, then Eve was created, and then thus the sex organs were created, giving human 46 chromosomes. Thus the second type of temple, or the second temple, was built. Adam the first, 44, then when he decided to give Adam a helpmate, he had to create the sex organs. Then the next, or the second stage of man, whatever you want to call it, second pillar, second stage, second temple, was 46. The third temple, and where the enemy wants to go, is 66 chromosomes, right here. 22 of those chromosomes is a mix of programmable matter, nanotech, third strand, helix DNA. Plain and simple. 6 times 6, 36, 3 sixes. That's the mark of the beast. That's how they do math. 66. That's when you see their eye, the circle, and their 3 fingers up, 3 sixes. 6 times 6, 36, 3 sixes. That is it. Also, that is the number of skull and bones, and I'll show you that. This is a picture of the Skull and Bones Secret Society, 322. A lot of people don't know what it is. Everybody's asking, what's 322? Skull and Bones. Bush Carey, mini-elect in Skull and Bones from Yale University. I'll tell you what it is. 322, it has to do, remember what I was showing, DNA. 44 base pairs, 22 base pair autosomes. They're called DNA model, but base pairs, they're called autosomes. But in each human created from a man and a woman, the natural way, you have 44 base pairs. Of course, the 2 that don't count. We're talking about the base pairs. So what they want to do is the elite want to add 22 more with the nanotechnology, with the programmable matter. That would make it 3 strands of 22. Right there. Plain as day. What I'm showing. And 3 times 22, like, I mean, it's, even if the New World Order, people say they wrote the Bible, they changed this or whatever, I'm going to tell you this. God is so good and it is so encoded that it doesn't matter if they change it. The truth is still in it. I'm just telling you right now. So 322, 3 times 22, guess what? 66. We're going to go a little deeper into the 322. and that secret number. Things that were shown to me also. I'm also doing a study with the occult and the satanic. They do things backwards. So whatever the truth is, they reverse it. So think about this. If something is wrong, reverse it. You should get the correct answer. So let's take 322 and reverse it. The wrong way is 3 times 22 is 66, the temple that I was talking of. So if you reverse it, 2 times 23 is what? 46. Guess what? 46 is the correct way of a human being. That's the way that's done. So let's take it even deeper. For those who don't believe in the Bible or the scripture or anything like that, I'm just showing you some things. 322. What does it say in the Bible? And the Lord God said, the man has now become like one of us, knowing good and evil, and he must not be allowed to reach out his hand and take also from the tree of life and eat and live forever. Okay. That verse, 322, also was chosen for a reason too by the elite and Satan and the enemy. Mocking God, because that's exactly what they're trying to do. They want to live forever here on this earth in a physical body. They want to reach out their hand, and they're building something on good and evil. Part of it is good, part of it is evil, part of it is dark, part of it is light, whatever you want to say. That's why the elites, the secret societies, Freemasons, the Illuminati are dancing on a checkerboard floor. Katy Perry at Super Bowl, dancing on a checkerboard floor. Every Masonic lodge you see, checkerboard floor. A floor is a foundation. Anything above that foundation, you're building on that foundation of dark and light. Knowledge of dark and light. You're building a temple with wrong, evil information included in it. This right here is a good, just a side note. We're talking about checkerboard floor, Michael Jackson. The album cover is Blood on the Dance Floor. It's about the bloodlines. Whether he's telling you information or the creators of this cover telling you information, they're showing you hidden information. Black and red, satanic control. He is pointing to the 11, pointing to the 9. 9/11. He is also standing in the place of the Twin Towers. You go back to the original album cover, the Twin Towers are not there. The skyline is of New York. The dust, look in the background of 9/11. This is foreshadowing, telling you in his story. Not his story, not Michael Jackson's story, not Christ's story, Satan's story, telling you his story. Notice the HIS is capitalized. They're telling you things. This was released in 1995. Well, it was off the album of History, Past, Future, and Present, I believe, 1995. Actually, Blood on the Dance Floor, the single was released in 1997. Still, 9/11 was 2001. So the elite know what's coming. And if you still believe that 9/11 was pulled off by an old man in a cave, Bin Laden, somewhere overseas with walkie-talkies, sorry, I feel for you. And God is not going to allow something built off of bad and good, or dark and light, good and evil, to live forever. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. That's what that verse means right there. Okay? So you know the secret of the checkerboard floor now. Everybody wants to show you checkerboard floors. Whoopie-doo. My daughter can show you a checkerboard floor. Yeah, whoopie-doo. I'm telling you what it means. It's based on, and the symbolism of it that are telling you. Whether you tune into that or not, that's up to you, but that's what it means. So, what else can we share? 46 is the right way. So the reverse of that, just reverse it. 64 should be the wrong way. What's Genesis 6:4 say? Ooh, the Nephilim were on the earth in those days and also afterwards, when the sons of God went to the daughters of humans and had children by them. They were the heroes of old, men of renown. So there you go. So if you're not a human, the opposite of that would be a Nephilim, right? That's what's going on. There's two seeds on this earth. People don't want to believe it. Sorry. I'm just telling you the truth of what this is all about, the bigger picture, the bloodlines, the two seeds. People may disagree with that. There's no seed of the serpent. You keep believing that. That's why the elites do what they do. They're part of this right here. The Nephilim that were on the earth in those days. And here we go. And also afterwards. The complete reverse of 46, which is of human. 46 chromosomes. Also, 46. Okay. Isn't it funny? Here we go. Hosea 4:6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge. I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God. I will also forget thy children. Notice that. Knowledge. You're destroyed. It's giving you a little hint. 46. Just a little piece of information for you. Also want to share a little information of this right here is a Masonic tracing board. A lot of people have interpretations of it, and they've been good, but I just want to show you what I've been shown. See, there's the checkerboard floor. Remember I was talking about there's the third pillar, the third temple. There's 3 pillars. The one in the back is the one with a little Jacob's ladder, or the ladder going up to the sun, the wrong sun. There's the light of Lucifer, which is the light bearer, but there's also Jesus Christ, which is the correct light, the correct sun to say. But what I do is I want to explain to you this of what is sitting in all the lodges and the symbolism behind it. Of course, if someone comes up to you, a gentleman comes up and asks you, are you a traveling man? He's asking you a question, and depending on how you answer that, will let him know that you're a fellow Mason. If you just say, hey, what do you mean I haven't really went anywhere this year, he's going to know you're not a Mason. But if he asks you, are you a traveling man? And you answer to him, yes, I am been traveling in the East looking for answers. There's the East right there. That's when you go in a Masonic Lodge, you'll see things facing the East. Notice when man was thrown out of Eden, it was east of Eden. He was thrown out. East. Right there. Little tip for you. Anyway, this is the third pillar. This is what they're trying. The Freemason, a Mason is a builder. On the outside, you build a physical temple. On the inner secrets of Freemason is building another temple. The one we've been talking about, 66. Temple of Man, where God dwells, where Satan wants to dwell. Satan tells you in Scripture what he wants to do, and it's plain and simple. And I can't understand why Christians don't get this. Satan tells you what he wants. He wants to set himself up in the temple of God, or in the holy place, declaring himself to be God. There it is, right there, plain and simple. He wants to sit in the temple of God. So when you answer the question, what is the temple of God? It clearly says in Corinthians that we are the temple of God. There it is. I mean, there's no mystery here. I just don't understand why people still don't see it. But anyway, the key that's hanging off the ladder, that's the key of Solomon. It's the ladder going up, stairway to heaven. Led Zeppelin sings about it. That's the deeper meaning right there. It's the Tower of Babel symbolism. Again, building a tower to heaven the wrong way. This has been going on for eons of building another temple to be like God. That's what's going on. In Revelation, it speaks of the key of David, which is the only one that is whole. It's the church age that remnant that is holy and true. The key of David. It's the only way. It's a doorway. It speaks of he that openeth it can't shut it, and who shuts it can't open it. That's the key of David. Holy and true. Here's the key of Solomon. Complete opposite. That's why the Freemasons follow Solomon. Because Solomon was too busy building temples, physical temples to other gods. David didn't. David was a man after God's own heart, and he knew the secret. He knew where God dwelt. That's why David gets the kingdom. Notice David gets the kingdom. Solomon was the wisest man. He was the richest man, supposedly. Why didn't he get the kingdom? He doesn't. David gets the kingdom because he knows the truth, the key of David. That's why all of the movies like AI with Haley Joel Osment, he's an artificial intelligent person, boy. His name is David. Prometheus, he's a transhuman being. His name is David. They're telling you this is the wrong way, built on knowledge of dark and light, iron and clay, the mix of technology with the flesh, vice versa. It is the wrong way. That's why they follow Key of Solomon. They're trying to figure out how to do this thing. So I wanted to let you in on that, and that's why there's a compass. They're trying to find the way, the compass and the square, all of that good stuff, of what they're trying to build. This is my logo right here. Most of you know what it is. For newcomers, I'm going to tell you. Do you think I like transhumanism? No, I do not. I'm trying to send you a message here. I'm trying to tell you the mark of the beast right here. Half tech, half clay. Iron, clay. Iron, clay. Tech, clay. Whatever you want to say. That's why my logo is the way it is. I'll tell you whose logo I really like. Scrawny to Brawny. And it's a good logo because it is the right way too. His logo, let me see if I can find it real quick. Here's Scrawny to Brawny's logo. This is how you accomplish what God has in store for you. You're into this world. You're going to get beat up. Sorry. Trials, tribulations. It's a test. Jesus wore the crown of thorns, bloody, beaten. And then he died. Guess what? Next step, he gets the real gold. Gold is refined this way. The next step. Satan's gold is fool's gold. See, this is what Satan wants you to do. He don't want you to take the next step. He wants you. See, here's what it's all about: is you're supposed to come as a man, die as a man. You're not supposed to become a better man and be upgraded. That's just not the plan. Sorry. It's just not. Anything to do with miracles take time. Magic, people ask me all the time, what's the difference between magic and miracles? Aren't they the same? No. Magic is instant. Magic is hocus pocus, boom, boom. Let me pull a rabbit out of a hat, fast. Notice with miracles and the way God, why didn't God just say, poof, caterpillar, become a butterfly? Or just skip the step of being a caterpillar. Just create the butterfly. Why don't you just go ahead and do that, God? Why did it take you 6 days to create everything and then you had to rest on the 7th day? Why don't you just say, poof? See, anything included in a miracle, it takes time. It's done right. It's progression. And that's what we are right now. We're just in a stage of development, and we don't understand everything, and that's okay. And that's why Jesus said, there's things I can tell you, but you can't bear them. You wouldn't even understand if I told you. And it's not quick. It's not instant. You know, microwave is instant. Microwave, you know, just think about it. Anything pretty much instant, fast food, everything quick is pretty much bad for you. And the only thing that is really good for you comes over time and development and things of that nature. And that's why, you know, a baby has to take 9 months to develop, and then the miracle happens. You know, it just doesn't come instantly. So anyway, I wanted to share that with you, share some things with you today that I've shared over the years through my videos, but in a more personal way. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Hopefully hasn't changed your opinion of me and what I'm about. I do want to tell you that Jesus is my Lord and Savior. I've never got away from that. Some people may doubt that. Of the way I show things. Just want to tell you that the reason I started the way I started with music and visuals is when you go on YouTube to reach people, the younger generation, you have to catch their interest 20 seconds, 15, 20 seconds. If you don't have it, they will tune you out. They will click off and go to something else. So I use the tools of what Satan uses. I use them against him. And that's the way I was told to use them. And it makes me happy when I have people that email me. They say, you know what, I didn't believe in anything. Just like me. I didn't believe in anything. But with your videos, you show me that the evil is real and that God is real. I mean, so if the evil is real, that's when it starts on their journey. They're like, oh man, if the evil's real, the good's real. There's really a battle going on here that is actually in the spirit realm, and it affects the physical realm too. But, you know, when I get 12-year-olds, 15-year-olds, and kids that just say, man, I would never even go to church, and I think Christians are kooky and whatever, but your videos have shown me, I mean, it's worth it. It's, you know, even if just one person gets it, you know, that's worth it.
The Georgia Guidestones sit on a quiet hilltop near Elberton, Georgia. They contain a message that some say is a harmless set of ideals for man to live by, but others say it holds a much more sinister message, that it's nothing less than a call to murder. The monument's been shrouded in secrecy because no one knows exactly who built it, and all signs point to the ultra-secretive Rosicrucians as the ones who made it. The group positions itself as enlightened thinkers who are on a mission to control and harness the powers of the human brain.
time has come for the world to move in a new direction. We must embrace a new era of engagement based on mutual interest and mutual respect, and our work must begin now.
And the president outlined his vision of a new world order in which the US would participate fully, one rooted on 4 basic principles.
On today's episode, the New World Order. New. Gosh, that's awful. World Order. Oh yeah, it's board time. New World Order. Before I even get into this one, I'll admit it, it's a weird one. And while I'm a little iffy on this one, I think there's some really compelling stuff here. So I'll let you decide. Basically, and this is kind of a catch-all, the New World Order is a number of different conspiracy theories that all, at least in their own ways, suggest that there is one big, secret, totalitarian worldwide government. Allegedly operating in secret, they are quietly pulling the strings, awaiting their emergence into the public eye. At which point, of course, it will be too late. Some people think it's related to the Illuminati, some people think it's the Freemasons, and some think, and you're gonna find this one in most conspiracy theories and Steven Spielberg movies, aliens. It's also worth noting that some of these theories are based in anti-Semitism. That is very harmful, and I just want everyone to be aware. But whoever it may be, if it may be, there is some compelling information to support the idea, all the way back in the yellowed pages of the annals of history. Since people have been around, there's always been that one group who wanted to kind of stake claim to like everything, you know, and colonizers, if you will. In the 300s, Alexander the Great strove to complete his assassinated father's goal of conquering the world, starting with taking down the Persian Empire. In the 13th and 14th century, the Mongol Empire amassed 9 million square miles of territory, making it the largest adjoining land empire in the history of the world. And in the 20th century, Hitler. So basically, if there are people around, there's someone who wants to be in control. But what we're talking about isn't as obvious as those guys. The New World Order that many conspiracy theories claim exists today would have to be a lot more low-key. Well, kind of. The greatest evidence for the existence of the New World Order in modern day all comes down to one of the weirdest places I've ever been, the Denver airport. Oh, it's board time. Denver airport. 2 underlines in one day. Aren't we lucky? The second biggest airport in the world, Denver was opened in 1995, way behind schedule and way over budget. The final cost was some $2 billion over the original estimated cost, which, like, I don't know about you, but to me, that's a noticeable chunk of change. Way over budget. Dollar, dollar, dollar. Bills, y'all. And for being nearly twice the size of the Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport, the next largest in the US, in 2018, Denver was only the 20th busiest airport in the world. It's over twice the size of the island of Manhattan. So if you're not the busiest airport even in this country, what are you doing with all that space, Denver? Well, one of the airport construction workers alleged that the reason for the airport being so far behind schedule in the first place was because 5 multi-story buildings were built underneath, as well as a vast network of tunnels. 5-story buildings. Why would that be under the airport? Some people theorize that these could be anything from underground New World Order command bunkers to fallout shelters for the global elite, such as billionaires and politicians, to a FEMA concentration camp waiting to be utilized underneath the Denver airport in the future. There have been some explanations for the delays and extra costs to construction, such as an automated but ineffective bag system that they attempted to construct. But okay, weird stuff, right? But nothing suggests that a New World Order specifically, right? Wrong! The airport was dedicated on March 19th, 1994 with a capstone inside the airport, which is still on display. Capstone. The stone displays the Masonic symbol and credits the New World Order Airport Commission with helping fund and build the airport. What? On top of that, level 5 of the Epperson terminal contains some really bizarre murals. Murals which some believe may tell the story of apocalyptic events destroying the world, with the New World Order taking over in its place. Have you seen these? You heard about these? These murals? One contains what appears to be a heavily armed Nazi soldier and a letter from a 14-year-old boy who died in Auschwitz. Speaking of art, people arriving to the Denver airport by car will be greeted by a 32-foot tall horse sculpture nicknamed Lucifer. Before the statue was completed, a piece of it fell off, hitting the sculptor against a steel support beam in an accident that would prove fatal. Many believe it's a symbol of death and destruction and suggests the 4th horseman of the apocalypse. Blue horse. Throw it on the board. Oh yeah, and did we talk about the Swastika? This is gonna blow your freaking marble. Compared to some of the other busiest airports in the country like Atlanta, Chicago, O'Hare, and LAX, a lot of people think that Denver's resembles a swastika. Let's just do a little test here. This is Hartsfield in Atlanta. This is LAX, and then this is Denver. I don't know. Hinky, if you ask me. Odd shape. Though an airport representative has said that the runways are designed that way so that they can be used simultaneously no matter what the weather conditions. Components of the New World Order conspiracy theory also maintain just how strange it was when in 2011 a doomsday comet Elenin was scheduled to possibly enter the Earth's atmosphere, triggering a cataclysmic event. President Barack Obama was where? Denver, Colorado. But why though? The greatest argument against any of this meaning anything or mattering at all is the question of why. If the New World Order did exist, would they make all this obvious weirdo stuff plain as day for everyone to see? Some people argue that it's just some Colorado politicians having fun, maybe even drumming up tourism. Get back some of that $2 billion, you know? The Fly Denver website also has some goofs with the theory, with images of reptile people on cell phones, suggesting the airport contains the Illuminati headquarters.
Demi Holloway.
No, don't leave me. Debbie, please. Don't leave me. No. I will see you in glory. Oh, God. Give me the strength to face death. Forgive my sins, oh God. Stand with me. Please stand with me.
Kristen Brooks. Oh God, have you done? You took the mark. Oh my God. I didn't want you to die. You took the mark. I can't believe it. You took the mark. Kristen. I love you. You don't have to die. You're my best friend. I can't. You know I can't. But you'll die. No. I won't. Goodbye. No. 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 Amazing grace, how sweet the sound.
Do you think this is noble? We've all made our sacrifices. This is your final chance. Take the mark.
That saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now.
Ladies and gentlemen, the very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society. And we are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret societies, to secret oaths, and to secret proceedings.
In America, they watch you and they track your every move. They're even putting poison in your food. In America, the people are too blind to see the truth. But it's too late and there's nothing we can do. In America, just watch your favorite show and watch the news, so they can pre-program you with your views. In America, get a job, obey the law, support the troops, and just get back, cause there's nothing we can do. This is the divided states of Illuminati land. People stumbling all over the place like zombies, man. Just like the Walking Dead, they got this country zombified. All your water's fluoridated, all your food is modified. You are what you eat, so I guess that means that you're a GMO. And you don't even know, but you're too blind to see it though. You have to be asleep to have the American dream. Just how they need it, cause your freedom was never a thing. The best kind of slaves are the slaves that don't know that they're slaves. Stuck in a daze and they behave how they're told to behave. Good little sheeple people, always happy, always gleeful. No revolting, no rebelling, no uprising, no upheaval. The ones that rule us wanna keep us all clueless and weak. It's not looking so good for humans, the future is bleak. You think you are unique, but really you're a replica, created by the false education that they gave you here. In America, they watch you and they track your every move. They're even putting poison in your food. In America, the people are too blind to see the truth. But it's too late, and there's nothing we can do. In America, just watch your favorite show and watch the news, so they can pre-program you with your views. In America, get a job, obey the law, support the troops, and just get back, cause there's nothing we can do.
In this present crisis, government is not the solution to our problem. Government is the problem.
We are conditioned every minute of every day, and being ignorant is just the American way. The national debt is a debt we can never repay, but if they say to pay your taxes, you better obey. Hypocritical kingdom of wicked criminals, using symbols and signals to fill your head with subliminals. When you watch TV, it's corroding your mind. When the 5G network goes online, there'll be nowhere to hide. Electromagnetic frequencies all around us so frequently. Nothing is what it seems to be. They deceive us so easily. No one even believe in me while they're meeting in secrecy. Have you seen the world recently? Never treating us decently. What happened to liberty and justice for all? Dictators free themselves, but we don't get nothing at all. I just want you to know the truth, so please don't shoot the messenger. It's a bitch, but this is how it is when you live. In America, they watch you and they track your every move. They're even putting poison in your food. In America, the people are too blind to see the truth. But it's too late and there's nothing we can